Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Zach. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Mitchell?
You know what? I can't complain today. I can't complain.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what are we talking
What are
about
we up
today?
to today? I don't know. What are we up to today? Well, let's do a Q&A.
Q&A for Anki.
Yeah. Q&A
Okay.
for Anki.
So we'll be talking about what, four questions I think today, right?
Yeah, 4 questions I think is enough.
Okay. And so my question today is, what's the best Anki deck for the MCAT?
I think I would say miles down, but you've done three, right?
Yeah, I've done three-ish, maybe four-ish, but I'm not sure about the fourth.
Okay. What are the three?
So I did Miles Down. That was the latest one I done. There was Ortho 520 something was one as well, and there was like a
Okay.
pre-med deck as well.
Now, did you do miles down? Did you do the notes?
Yeah, so the notes were released way before the deck was, so I mainly did the notes at first, and I really liked him. So then when he released the deck, I'm like, man, I gotta get on this, but I only have like 2 weeks for my test.
Oh, you only had 2 weeks before your test.
Yeah, so I only had like barely any time to go through the flashcards.
What about the other decks? What did you think of them?
Ortho is pretty good. I mean, I think there's a lot more cards if I remember right, more than Miles Down. The other one was meh. I'd probably
Because
recommend
because
Orthos.
Miles Down is just 2,000.
Yeah, I forget
Just a
what
little bit.
Orthos is. Let me.
Just a little bit about 2,000. I think it's 2,000 and some change. Um, it's not that much, honestly. I think it's like you can literally bang it out in a month.
Yeah, Orthos deck was 4,351.
Okay, that's like a really heavy set. That's like a 3 month to 6 month to like yeah.
So
I haven't tried Orthos, so I don't know. I mean, I like Miles Down. I think after I finish Miles, I think I'm gonna go for the next deck, for a heavy set deck.
yeah, just in case you miss something from Miles Down, because Miles Down's like half of Orthos,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
crazy.
So I feel like I might miss something, so that's why I want to get a second deck. I'm like almost like a quarter of a way there. I think by the end of this month, I should be done with the deck.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
And so for
Um,
settings for Anki,
yeah.
I'm set.
What settings do you use?
So I'm gonna put them on the screen right now because settings are kind of complicated on Anki.
Okay.
So the steps is 1 space 60 and 1440. So that is seconds,
Right.
right? Or is that minutes?
That's
Minutes.
1 minute, and that's 101.
Yeah.
That's 1,400 in a minute. So that's seconds in a minute, in an hour. But okay, okay. This is confusing. You have 50 cards a day.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm not doing 50 cards a day. You told me not to do 50 cards a day. You were like, you should start with like 15 to 20 to 25 cards.
Yeah, I've been doing Anki since for like 3 years now, so like I know where I can like my like best point is, and it's around 50 cards, new cards a day.
15 new cards a day. How long does it take you to memorize around 15 new cards a day?
Well, as I mentioned before, I make my own cards, so like it really takes me barely any time.
Okay.
And the 50 new cards, like for right now, I'm making maybe about 30 new cards a day, mostly from my class I'm taking. So it's really not. I'm not hitting that 50 mark most days.
Now, graduating interval, it's between 1 to 3 days. So you have it as 3 days, right?
Yeah. So graduating interval was like, so I'll do my cards on the first day, and I'll do it again. It goes to 1 day, and it goes to 3 days. After that
Yeah.
3 day mark, if you hit wrong, it goes against your ease, and you really don't want that to happen. Then you'll be seeing that card way too often. That's why I have that
Yeah.
1440 in there as well. So I see it 3 days later before it hits that ease.
Now, you have the easy interval. However, I stop clicking easy like
Yeah,
after
I
like
don't
the
hit it. I,
first
I
the
just in
first
there
two
as
days.
default.
Yeah. And the starting ease, don't mess with that.
Yeah, don't
Do
mess with
not
that.
do not mess with that. Like honestly, like the only thing that you need to mess with is the new cards today. That's pretty much it.
In the order too, I like doing my new cards in order I added them, so I can like see how they relate to each other as well.
Oh, okay. Showing you cards in order at it. Okay. I never mess with that. I just
So like I'm
I,
studying Miles down deck, I want to see like how the cards relate to each other. Like if I'm studying,
uh-huh.
I don't know, chemistry, I want to see how like the chemistry concepts actually add on as he went through the cards.
That makes sense. So how do you use Anki to remember pictures like in anatomy?
Yeah. So the next pictures, I found this on Google Images, but that's kind of what it looks like. So that's you can see that there's like little squares kind of everywhere.
Right.
I just colored up the names of the parts of the head. And so when you make cards, so each square is its own card, and when you hit show the card, it's gonna ask like, oh, that's the part of the brain.
So copy and paste the card, not showing the word, and then the card showing the word.
No, you literally you put a card. So it's called image occlusion. I think it's an add-on. So you copy and paste
Oh,
a
okay.
picture in there with the words on, and you literally draw boxes over the words, and it
Image
makes
occlusion. Okay, okay. You use the add-on part. Okay.
yeah. And then like you don't want to do what's on the back of the card though. You want to show all, so you can see how that part of the image actually relates to the other parts of the image. To build those like locations kind of type thing. So you'd be like, oh, this nerve's here, and what's under the nerve is this. And you kind of want to have it show everything when you see one thing.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So what's the next
So
topic?
you were a couple days ago. We were talking about the stats. So what did the Yankee stats mean? Because I realized that my stats were not like I was doing like I had like 400 cards that I've only done because I was only doing like 10 to 15 new cards a day. So that's why I upped it to like 25 cards a day. So my stats were down, but like yeah, explain me a little bit more about stats.
Yeah, so here's some of my stats for like my deck that's kind of small right now. So you're seeing like data from like 1 month. So the first line's kind of how many cards I've left to do today, which is like 32. And if I once to do my cards tomorrow, it'll be like what 7, 8 cards due, and it keeps going down. The dark green line you see on the screen is like means mature cards, which means I've done these cards a lot. So like if I get them wrong, it's really gonna hurt my stats. But I should know them though, since they're mature. It takes a good while to
Okay.
get them matured.
Now, um, it says suspended on the yellow one. So what are the suspended?
Okay, let's see. Oh, you're looking at the last slide. Okay, the card counts. So I'm on the review slide right now. Let's show like how many
Oh,
reviews I did.
right.
Yeah, so on this slide I'm looking at right now, there's big blue lines, there's little green lines, and there's like a little red line down there, which is like cards I missed a lot.
You have 410 reviews for 7 days.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't do my cards all day every day for this deck. I'm pretty bad at it. Just because it's something that's pretty simple, since I do make my own cards, I know the material really well after like for a couple days after.
Right.
But I make sure I study the cards within like the forgetting interval we talked about before.
Yeah.
Don't forget them. But for card count, so you have 14 new, which is the new cards I actually made tonight. Young, it's basically in like that limbo period where you're still kind of learning it, but you kind of know it, but you kind of don't know it. So just kind of making sure you still know it before it goes immature. Suspended is cards I made and I don't like them, so I suspend them so I don't see them again, so I can like go back and edit them, so I know which ones to edit. Or if I don't want to see that topic anymore because I realize this is not on the test. I made that card for extra information that I don't need anymore. Do you know what buried is?
No, actually, no. I wasn't sure what suspended was because I've never tried to suspend any of my cards.
Yeah, suspended takes the card out completely, so it's still in the deck, but it's suspended, so you won't see it anymore unless you
Okay.
unsuspend it.
Okay.
While buried is more of a thing where you bury a card, like, oh, I don't want to see this today because it's pretty much the same concept, and we bury it, and they'll come back like tomorrow.
I've actually never tried to do that. I've actually always just like worked through all of them.
Some people like bury them just for like keep the concepts like cards are very similar, like separately by like a day or so.
Makes sense though.
But it's more work to just. I mean, it's like click of a button, you bury it, but it's like,
Right.
do I want to do that? Do I not want to do that?
Makes sense.
And the the next slide is review intervals. I actually debated about not showing this because it's not really that important for you, but you can see like the average review interval for my days. So some cards I'll see in like 4 days, some I'll see in like 6 days, and some are like in 10 days. So it's not that important, but I show it for completion. That's really it. So, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, thanks for clearing that out. Thanks for answering those questions.
Yeah, no problem. If you guys have any other questions, just comment below, subscribe, let us know what questions you have so we can do another video on it.
Perfect.
See you
Good
next
night,
time.
everybody. See ya.